Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Daily Teachings. Hope everybody's doing great. Let's just do a quick disclaimer. Anything we discuss is just for educational purpose. Nothing is a financial advice. All right, guys. Great start of the week. We got some amazing opportunities with the gap down. Too many companies were reporting early earning updates, early quarter guidance updates. It was kind of crazy today. A lot of news, but we had our system, we had our setups, so we were able to execute a lot of our setups, our planning in the pre-market. So a lot to discuss today. You will learn the best setup to trade SPY QQQ futures. You will learn how to trade the setups with MTF clouds, how to plan your trade and stick with the plan, and the best trading system you can learn, and also the gap fill setups. So we trade a repeatable system called Ripster EMA cloud system. This system is used by thousands of traders across the world to trade consistently. I've been teaching not only this system, all my teachings, all my various concepts that I've been teaching from 7-8 more than that years freely on X, YouTube, and of course my free website ripstereducation.com. You can go there and see thousands of testimonials how the lives have been changed with that free education on this system. So now we also trade this system in our private community, TANA Trade group, which is one of the largest educational live trading community, where we trade these setups, we plan these setups, we trade these setups, and that's what we recap, so you guys can learn and also trade these setups yourself. So every morning, me and my team, we make a plan. So the plan includes any news, any key news, hot news, any earnings. Like today, we had a lot of early updates, and we also have our Magnificent 7. We differentiate between our trades as a news and catalyst plays and the market plays. The market plays are like SPY QQQ and index plays and all the stocks that move with the market. So what is the system? System is how you trade. Setup is what you trade. So these are our setups. We create a support level, resistance level, and I created this live game plan in the pre-market, not on the voice but on the live screen. What is an initial plan? So what we want to trade it. The bias can always change, but we do have an initial plan. I do highlight anything that's in red as our top focus place. We also trade many other setups. We trade our day 2, day 3 setup. Costco was our top day 2 setup. We'll talk about that. This is another strategy that I did a free webinar. Webinar is as well on that. We also provide level for all the SPY QQQ index and the Mag 7s and the top high volume stocks in the market that move with the market that you can trade. We can review a few of those as well. Let's take a look at the next here. We're going to look at, we also trade crypto stocks, anything that moves with crypto, Bitcoin, we trade those. These levels are provided to the traders in the pre-market. We also trade futures, ES, NASDAQ, futures, gold futures. We also trade silver. We're going to be adding that in our watch list as well. So everything is provided to the traders in the pre-market, so they can plan, they can use Ripster cloud system to trade successfully, keeping losers small, winners big. We trade IPOs, we trade low floats. We have a lot of tools in the community. We have 3 option flow scanners, stock scanners, order flow, hold, unhold, breaking news, the fastest news we have in the industry that you can find, and a lot of opportunities. I'm usually on voice. I'm live on voice first few hours of the market open, and my screen is live as well whole day. Thousands of traders on our trading floor all day long, sharing ideas, opportunities. We are not an alert service, but an educational based live trading community. So anyways, we will show you everything that I teach, everything you do. Nothing is hindsight, so I will show you winners and losers. We actually had a pretty good day. There was only one short loser today from my guidance. We will go through everything, the setups, and why you need to hold with the Ripster clouds to grow your account. Because on a trend day like today, if you do not hold, on a choppy day, you're going to give up a lot, and that doesn't help. All right, let's start with the recap. Alright, so let's start with SPY QQQ, NASDAQ futures. All these concepts, you can trade SPY, you can trade QQQ, NASDAQ futures, ES futures, whatever you want to trade. Okay, so let's see what was happening with the SPY and QQQ today. Let's take a look, go on the daily chart here on SPY QQQ. So SPY, was gapping down today. So why was that? Of course, Powell put out a video that, after the DOJ, I think, subpoenaed, there was some fraud in their, whatever the construction they were doing. So the point is, Trump and DOJ was coming at Powell, and Powell put out a video, so which kind of made a market little nervous, so market gap down. So now when market gaps down, how do you know, is it a buy or is it a short? To do that, you need a you can use any system, but the most highly probable system is Ripster Cloud system with MTF clouds and my VIX strategy. That helps you find, are we going to be long or are we going to be short, or is we going to stay away? The setup today was a gap fill long setup with our MTF clouds. This is a repeatable setup. The same exact thing we have done hundreds of times. The same exact way we have made money hundreds of the times. But the point is to hold your longs. So let me show you the live trade. Before I do that, it's, if you follow me, if you understand my teachings, a lot of the traders are not even in a community. They're still making these trades with everything that I teach you guys every day. So if you see that the pre-market planning was long over MTF clouds, if VIX stays under 16 or rejects or breaks the cloud, watch the Max 7 bank semis. No go under the clouds, watch the amateur and the 10 a.m. moves. So what happens right away? So right away the VIX rejects under 16. Check. Right away the QQQ pushes over the MTF cloud. Check. So this is a trading the opening move, so you have to be really fast, because longer you wait, the bigger is your risk. The bigger is your risk from the clouds. Yes, if you bought here at the top, you risk $2 and you made $3, I guess that's a good risk reward. But if you oversize, you're going to lose a lot of money. So right away when I see the strength here, I say MTF call longs, right? So I give the long on both SPY QQQs. So this is a Ripster 1 hour MTF cloud. This is Ripster 1 hour FTM cloud. Right away it's a long. Do you buy the shares, you buy options? You need to know the options if you're trading the options, or you can also trade NASDAQ futures when I say that, which is a long. Most of my traders are already doing this. They're not waiting for me to tell them, but this is for the new traders that I guide and teach them. You can see that NASDAQ futures as well pushed right from the pre-market high, another confirmation, and it was a long. So let's take a look here. So you can see that I was long on 623 here, right here. I was risking 50 to 60 cents on that, and by end of the day I got over $5 per share profit on that QQQ long. And let's look at my lifetime guidance here. So you see that we had stops right at the MTF clouds, and I did not tell the traders to exit until end of the day. So let's take a look. So we always take first profits into 10 a.m. As soon as we hit 10 a.m. we fill the gap. Remember, this is a gap fill setup. Although we are long here, but there's a gap. Gap has been the area between yesterday's close and today's open. So this was our gap. We always target the gap. How to find the targets? The full gap fill, the 50% gap fill. You can draw the Fibonacci. I often teach you it's opposite of gap and crab. You can draw a Fibonacci, or you can use ATR levels for your targets. So once our gaps was filled, let's take a look. Once I gave the target of full gap fill, you can see that I gave the target right at 10 a.m. and within next 1 hour we hit that full gap fill. And continuously what we were doing, we were having flags, flag on SPY, flag on QQQ. You need to understand these flag setups. So, and our 100% ATR. So we continue to push. Once we push over the gap fill, our next target is always yesterday highs. When we hit that, when we break out of that, we push higher. At this time I told the traders that if we break yesterday highs, you get out. And that's what happened. We got a 512 break, and do not forget the VIX strategy. This long was working, just like I said in the pre-market planning. The long was working because VIX was rejecting 16 and it faded from 16 all the way to 15. And you see where it bounced from 15, it bounced, and that's when the QQQ Ripster clouds broke down, and that was a nice short scalp as well if you want to. But there's a beautiful trade today. You could literally risk $1,000 and make $5,000. If you were trading futures, you could literally on NASDAQ futures, you could take that over 200 points there. If let's look at the options, the QQQ options for the trader there. Let's take a look here. So QQQ options, let's take a look. These expire tomorrow. If you're trading tomorrow's expiry, of course a lot of traders trade 0 DTE. Those went from $2 to $4.50. Another 100% trade as well, trading with a couple $1,000, giving you double your investment on that trade as well. So pre-market planning, live guidance, the teachings, and that's how you make money, guys, consistently. The key is the day like today, you need to hold as long as Ripster clouds hold, or you roll with the profits to maximize your profit, because we are not going to get days like this every day. But next time you see this opportunity of gap fill either to the upside or to the downside, you do not hesitate. You use Ripster clouds, you use VIX, you use my teachings and the concepts. Watch the Ripster SPY QQQ playlist so you can also trade successfully, and you can trade this for all your lifetime. Let's go to the next one. All right, so next one we're going to look at is Oracle. So let's look at Oracle. What was Oracle doing? This is very interesting. It's a learning concept that everybody should learn. So the Oracle, the concept with Oracle, this was a daily breakout. Let's not even go further. Just let's go to the daily chart. You can even go to a 4-hour chart. It can explain you that. So you see that this is the Oracle range. You see up, down, up, down, up, down. And there's another thing to watch. There's a 200 psychological level. 200 psychological level on Oracle. So 200 psychological levels, whenever these levels are tested and they break out, there's always great trade. If you remember ORCL, you remember CRWV, you remember all those my 100 psychological level teachings, you will see that. That's why Oracle was on our game plan. So this is the reason Oracle was on game plan. If you do not analyze your charts, why did I put Oracle in my game plan? You know, the reason that because I've been waiting for this 200 breakout for a long time. I've been watching it. A few times it failed on us. So the support was 196.50. The resistance was 197.60. I told the traders to long over 2021 MTF. No go under 200 rejected again on Friday, so 200 is a key level. So what happens here? So let's take a look here. So initially, Oracle was, it started to push over there. Let's take a look here. Let's see if we need another MTF clouds here. No, that's fine. So it started to push here today, right over this 2021 MTF. That's what I mentioned in the plan, pulled back. So there was no trade. We were not really looking at it. Then it started to make a cup. So when it started to make a cup and handle, that's when I was voice and I told everybody, let's see if I can show you that. Let's see if I can make it smaller so you guys can see that. So I told the traders that we are going to have a 200 breakout, big breakout. Before the breakout, bounce for 2021 MTF, but definitely if Oracle breaks 200, it's going to try to push towards 201 and recent highs. So that was my voice guidance, and that's when a lot of traders took a long right here versus 199 on that breakout, or right here and adding into the breakout, risking a $1 there. So as soon as Oracle broke out, I gave the target of 204. I gave the stops at 199. So risking $1, we made actually $6, right? So you see that how you trade that, how we analyze it. Why was I liking this trade? What was I watching? The other day was another reason was Oracle made a big move on Friday. So that's another reason it was a day 2 setup, because it made a big move. So analyze the daily chart. I looked at what it's doing. I saw that it made a big move on the Friday. I saw that it's holding 2021 MTF cloud, and that's how I gave the targets as well using our ATR. Its ATR is 8, it moved for 10, right? So we sold most. I told the traders to sell half now when it hit 206, and then it pulled back, bounced, double topped. You sell more and you stop out, exit everything when it breaks down right here. So Oracle, beautiful textbook trade. Remember this concept, this trade, you will get this setup again. Everything is a setup, 200 psychological setup, range breakout setup. Now Oracle is in the gap. If it holds, pulls back, hold 200, we'll be watching it for further trading. Let's look at the Tesla next. I was not too focused on Tesla because I was doing the market gap and gap fill setup. But let's look at what was our plan. Traders just literally killed Tesla as per the planning. So I made it highlighted as a red. I said cast Tesla gap down with the market right under 50-55 MTF, short under 1 hour MTF. It holds call, watch the amateur move. So you see that initially there was a spike down and then it swiped right back up. So that was a big reason that the QQQ also pushed. You know, when it pushed right there, the traders had got long right there at the 512 calls right here, you know, with your stops under the MTF clouds, 50-55 MTF. Let's see if there was another MTF above there somewhere. Yeah, there was some there on there. So anyways, so then when we do this, that's when we become it's a gap fill long, right? We were trading QQQs, you could trade the gap fill long on there, and then once that is hit, your next target is over this pre-market yesterday Friday highs. That's your next target. So now later in the day, when we hit our 10 AM profits and that push, it pulled back. The traders were asking me, like, on the long side, I told the traders you can add this long here, put your stops under 447. You see that stops under 447. Then I gave them a flag guidance that, you know, I add the shares. Let's say you are adding 448, your stops under 447, and then you're risking $1 or $2 and you're breaking the flag. And the target I gave them was initial morning target was 450, but again there was a big seller at 450. So once their 450 seller was gone, here's some more guidance here. Let me show you here on my voice guidance. So I was said we're waiting on the 450 breakout. We are waiting on the 450 breakout. So once the 450 breakout got, the traders, I gave the target of 455. We were a little short of that target, but regardless, you see that this midday flag move, risking $1.50, and the breakout over, over there, you're making $4. So you're basically risking one and making 3 times of risk if you're doing this flag setup. So traders always tell me, Rip, it moves at the open, I do not get the opportunity. Ripster clouds give you the opportunity. The levels give you the opportunity. You see that QQQ is holding pretty good. QQQ is filling the gap. That's how you trade with the Ripster MTF clouds, gap fill, yesterday highs, flag, all time stamped, no hindsight. Beautiful trade for the traders long. So I'm going to look at is SNDK. There were 2 setups on the SNDK today. Let's take a look here. So let's go and see. Let's take a look here on SNDK. All right. So we had 2 setups on SNDK. One long at the open. You can see that right at the open. I told the traders it's a long. Because SNDK has been running, it's a hard stock right now, hard theme. I've been talking about the 400 target to meet soon. So let's take a look here. So SNDK, day 3 setup. Day 3, it's the third day of the running. Long over 375, no go under 366. So as soon as you see that 375 breaking out, you take it long right away. That's why I told the trader it's a long. If you missed it, you got to watch on the pullback. Ideally, it didn't really give any pullback. The targets was 400, and next 20 minutes it hit 394. So when it does that, you move your stops break even, you move your stops higher, you sell some closer to that 400. Sadly, SNDK pulled back. We gave back a lot of the profit we gave back, and we were out of that trade. But now what SNDK did was it started to give us a midday repeatable setup, which is called a midday 512 3450 calls with the trend line. So this is a repeatable setup. And one thing I told the traders was if we hold the Friday highs, we're going to call back higher. So when you see this candle pushing, this is where you can take the position, your stops right here. And that's what a lot of the traders were doing. We do not do hindsight. We do not do just like we do this, we do that. The traders were doing that. Fahad was long there on that. The day tradesman was guiding the traders on that call long. You can see that. I was also talking about the calls on the trading floor, and literally we go to those calls and we ran from that level 380 all the way to 389. You could make another $9. You're risking $2, making $9. It's a beautiful trade there on SNDK. So the morning setup long as per the pre-market guidance, and then midday calls right there from the 512, the repeatable setup. 2 setups on SNDK. Let's quickly look at Visa and MasterCard, what we were doing on Visa. So Visa was initially a short in the first 20 minutes. You can see that. Let's take a pre-market plan. What was the plan? So highlighted plays American Express, Visa, MasterCard, term calls for 1%, 10% cap on the interest. So the Visa plan was no long under 50-55 MTF, only long over 345, bearish to neutral bias. American Express, MasterCard, no long under 50-55. Same game plan given the traders in the pre-market. So what happened? Initially it was a short. I told the traders to short it. You can see that Visa was a short, then MA was a short as well at the morning candles. But when it started to hold here, that's you're gonna start to think about, you put your stops, right? You put your stops. So we did stop out both on MA there, and then I told the traders to stop out, and then I told them to buy the calls. This is the long call buy, 341s on Visa, 562s here on MasterCard, and you said MasterCard we're looking for 566, we're looking for $4 target there. Visa we're looking for 344 first, and then we're going to push higher, and then we did get into the gap. So you see that we're risking, if you're buying right here, your stops are under the 512 clouds, or even if you're risking $1, we ran from 341.50 all the way to 345, 360, you're making $4 and you're just risking $1.50. That's a pretty good risk reward trade. Better with the stock than the options. Same for MasterCard with it curl. So this is a repeatable 512 curl setup that we were trading long on these 2 names. Now American Express was a little different. American Express was bearish all day. I told the traders to short it right here. Right here is where I gave them the 512 short. You can also see the pre-market guidance on American Express. It was a nice short right here from 512, breaks from 360 to 355 for $4-5 short. It was not a good call, so that's why I didn't mention it. I didn't feel like, remember, we're still trading under the resistance, so you have to watch the price action, you have to watch the candles, and accordingly you have to decide what you want to do there. So anyways, these opportunities you need to find. You know what is hot in the market, what is the news, so you're going to do that. There was a similar stock that we traded this same news was AFRM. All right, so let's look at that one here. Let's take a look at AFRM here. So you can see that AFRM was a gap and crap. So let's take a look. I'm going to show you that AFRM. All right, so let's take a look here. So this was AFRM, right? So breaking the 512s, breaking the clouds, breaking the MTF clouds. It's a gapping up. Why is it gapping up? Let's look at the pre-market game plan. AFRM was gapping up because buy now, pay later stocks were up on a 10% credit cap, right? So, you know, the investors were thinking maybe because credit cards are bad, now maybe we do the buy now, pay later. So AFRM was gapping up. The funny thing was, it was gapping up. I told the traders do not long under 34.50. Only interested if 84.50 holds, you know, that level. So when this breaks, right away I know it's a gap and crap. So that's why I told you can see that 934. My traders are already short because I told them no interest in long. So they're already short right here. They're already short here. And I told them that we're gonna do the full gap fill, and we filled the full gap fill. And the funny thing is, even after filling the full gap fill, we faded to the next MTF. So this is called the MTF magnet. From MTF to the MTF, I guess something was bad for them as well. Investors felt there's something bad for buy now, pay later stocks as well. That's why I probably sold off. You know, Trump always creates volatility. You just need to analyze enough, understand what is the real impact versus just a fluff or a short-term impact. Like last week, we were trading those mortgage bond trades which were on Trump news. A similar trade was this today on a Trump news on 10% cap on interest rates on the credit card. So you find these opportunities in the market. You just need to stay on the top of the news. That's how you can trade consistently. You can trade for life, you can trade for living, keeping losers small, winners big. Let's go to the next one. Other sector which was pretty strong here, we always track every day, is our neo clouds. This was our CRWV, NBIS, IREN. These are all were our these are all our day 2 setups on the CRWV and NBIS and IREN. IREN had a lot of weekend hype. So CRWV was along from the MTF to the MTF magnet. I did mention to the traders the CRWV is the strongest names in CRWV, insane strength on CRWV. Let's look at other neo clouds. NBIS the best one. Second best is NBIS with the risk of 100. So even with NBIS from the 100 psychological breakout went on to run to 100.08. So this is the power of the psychological trading, guys. You see that how NBIS, once it broke 100, did not even stop and continued to push at that. I did mention all the solid longs on both CRWV, NBIS and IREN. So that was a beautiful trade on these setups. Really good setups on CRWV, NBIS and IREN. In my first morning, in the morning I told the traders CRWV, NBIS, IREN, all solid longs, solid winners for us. My main focus was CRWV, NBIS. IREN was good, but it was a little choppy, but you could see that it held in this 512 10 AM calls. But NBIS was much better than these other names. Also, NBIS is one of our investing 2026 investing list as well. Let's look at some few other plays today. ANF was another. So many plays today. ANF was one of our short losers, which was not working. We tried to short it a few times versus 100, but it kept on holding 100. It was a 100 psych short. I told the traders to be careful if it reclaims 100. So this is one of the example where a 100 concept did not work. But why is that? Important to understand that. So ANF reported narrow guidance. Trade was 100 psych. If 100 holds, we long it. If 100 fails, we short it. But the problem was it was already down from 124 to 100, right? So when you have such a big move, if it was closer to 100 right up here, it for surely would have worked. But since it's already sold off so much, it got a choppy, did not break the pre-market lows. So I told the traders, if it holds 100, exit shorts and keep your stops tight. So when it held 100, we got out here. We're shorting here under 100, or actually the good trade is to start here and add here. But when you do that, your averages becomes low at 101s, and so we exited when I saw it pushing and holding 100. took a couple dollar loss there, got out of that. At that time I told the traders to long it versus 100, just like we had planned in the pre-market, ANF versus 100 longs, and from that longs we pushed right into the 50-55 MTFs, and then rejected and we got out. We barely got like $3-4 there. So overall it's still weak, still heavy. We'll be watching it tomorrow if it holds 50-55 MTF for any kind of bounce, because 100 has been holding. We saw that there's a buyer who wants to hold 100 psychological concept. Some other plays in the community as well. Baba was pretty good. Baba was good. It was on our game plan. The news, they didn't really know the news at the end, but the news was actually about their AI doing pretty good. So it's always better to know the news. Mostly 99% of the time we know the context, and today it was higher because their share was up, because their AI hit 700 million downloads, and you see it ran from that breakout. The plan I gave for the Baba to long for the traders was long over pre-market highs, gap and under 157. So as soon as it breaks over pre-market highs, you take it long. I did tell traders in the morning Baba is insane strength, so traders traded with the pre-market plan, took it all the way from that pre-market highs all the way to 166. Just pure insane trend and move on Baba. All right, so that was Baba. There were some other plays here. Let's take a look here. What was TEM doing? TEM was a gap and crap. That was another one which was on our game plan here. TEM, to also an investing name. Careful of 512 breaks, because it had already moved a lot. As soon as 512 breaks, you short it to the MTF targets. Let's take a look for another name which was running all day today. There was Costco. We have been trading Costco for like few days. This was a day 3 here. So if you look at the day 3 plan on Costco, it was long over 925.30, 512 call, short under that, and once it reclaimed this level, it gets a long, breaks Friday's highs, stays a long, breaks Thursday highs, stays long, and rallied all day. So that was a Costco over day 3. So that's how you have to watch these names and these setups. This was another one. This one was noteworthy because just on Friday, I had posted the chart setup on ABVX. That really, when this happens, your setup starts to work. Added those positions here on the support. You see ABVX. It's a cult. Pretty good cult biotech, which has a lot of rumors on buyouts. So it pulled back from 148 all the way to 115. So it was giving a good bounce level for swing trading. That's why I posted it on January 9th. And today we wake up, it's a gapping up to 150 bucks. Insane return overnight. But we did have a plan in the pre-market on ABVX. Let's take a look. Day 3 rumored Lily bid. Posted bounce just Friday long. It holds 134 neutral bounce, but right away there was a news that there's no buyout and crapped, and you just don't touch it, because if there's no news, it's going to come all the way back. Even after this bounce to 129, it came back all the way to 118. Something to keep on watch. But this is how you watch the news plays. You keep eyes on them, that how the pre-market planning, you plan the trade and trade the plan. That's how you do it. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.